Welcome back to the podcast. This week, my guest is Miss Josi Siefker with Paint Pixie. Oh my goodness. I've been waiting to get on here with you for so long, Josi, and I'm so thrilled and so honored to have you as my guest. Josi is the owner behind the company that sells brushes and now paints. She lives in Sedona, Arizona, my favorite place on earth, with her husband, and she has 3 daughters, 5 grandkids, 2 great grandkids, and a world and wealth of knowledge to share with us today. Josi, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Melanie. I feel so honored.
I'm the one that's honored. I'm the one that's honored. So I'm excited for you to share with the listeners today just a little snippet behind the fact that you went from being a paint contractor to, oh my gosh, transferring to a furniture painter, a cancer survivor, traveling with your husband, a peddler for a brush peddler, for lack of better terms, because you were selling them on the road, to what you are today with over 200 products for crafters. So Josi, tell us a little bit about that journey.
Like you just went over all that. It was, I always tell everybody, even though I had cancer, I always thank God that I did, because I probably never would have started this company. Another thing I'd like to point out is I started Paint Pixie. I was just getting ready to turn 61. And I love to inspire other women of all ages, young girls. I have granddaughters, I have great granddaughter. So that's really another big thing for me, is to be as inspiring as I can and let everybody know that you just mentioned my background, and I'm still going. At 66 years old, I'm still going. And I just want to encourage everybody, don't ever let age get in the way, or circumstances.
Yes, that is an amazing testimony. Tell us a little bit about just, I think that you had kind of a before and after cancer story. So I feel like you had before, where you were doing paint contracting and what that looked like, versus after.
Oh, right. Can't forget that part. Actually, before, I was a single mom for many years. And actually, I did some crafting through the years, because I always wanted to make sure my daughters had everything they needed. Child support's never enough. And but it wasn't painting. I never painted. It was fabric and stuff like that. It wasn't until about late 90s, when sponge painting got really popular. I started watching the Discovery Channel, and I would see I would watch a show called The Christopher Lowell Show. He was a huge inspiration for me. Annie Sloan she was on there showing faux painting, and another big artist at the time, Gary Lord. I was so enthralled, that became my second job, so that I could have that money come in and help support my children and give them what they needed. So it just transitioned from that. I ended up remarrying in 2000, and my husband encouraged me to do what made me happy, which was painting. And that's how I ended up getting my contractor's license. Not right at first, right? You have to practice and make sure you've got a talent. And I was very good at what I did. And that's the before all this. And then, like you said, it transitioned into, when I got to the point I didn't want to be on ladders and scaffold anymore, it transitioned into furniture painting and opening my store, which was called Vintage Home.
Vintage Home. I love it. That might be a secret nobody knew about, Miss Josi.
Could be.
So you fell ill and closed your shop, and
Yes.
That was super painful.
Yes.
Take us down that road.
Okay. Actually, what happened in 2014, I was still a contractor painting for just people that I knew. And all of a sudden, one day I was walking, my legs started to go numb, and didn't think much of it, but it was weird. So I started getting a lot of testing done. Turned out I needed some major back surgery. Had had it not been for that, actually, this is where the grace of God comes in. When they were doing my post-op chest x-ray, that's when they found I had cancer. And so I had 2 back-to-back surgeries. Back-to-back. One was the back surgery. 6 weeks later, they removed the lower left lobe of my lung, and it was a very rare, slow-growing cancer. They figured it started about 5 years earlier. So that's what happened there. And I tried to keep my store open, but and we even moved locations, and it just wasn't meant to be.
So you took to the road with your husband.
Yes.
And you were left with what you shared with me was a lot of these brushes that you had been using in your business.
Yes.
And so your husband, being the genius that he is, said that you could sell those from anywhere. So why not do it on the road? So tell us how that evolved from 4 brushes to 20 that you have now. All
right. So I ended up, as I shared, about a year later is when it really happened, because I closed my store in 16, and in 17, he's like, what are you going to end up doing with all these brushes? And I packed them in our little motorhome, and I didn't tell him I really wasn't doing anything. Kind of kept that to myself. I was still kind of pouting about having to close my shop, but I didn't let him know. I never wanted him to know that I was upset about that. And I joined a private group that the Turquoise Iris has. And I actually thought I was buying a tutorial on staging, because I was never good at staging. And I thought, this will be fun. I love her. I follow her. It turns out I was buying into her group. She needed some new brushes to use or whatever, send them to her. She promoted them in the group. Before I knew it, I sold out of dozens, even reordered more, even the larger orders than I'd ever ordered. It was really working. And that's when I approached my husband and asked him if one more time, if we could invest in one more company for me. And he agreed. And that's how I spent hours, nights, hours, days finding a manufacturer that would make these for me, and found one. Beautiful family in Italy.
That is awesome. So now you sell, so bringing us to today, you sell over 200 products. You have the brushes, you have molds, transfers, clay, and then paint.
Yes.
So what's next for Paint Pixie?
Actually, Melanie, again, God opens doors. We don't even realize it. Right before Christmas, I had a bunch of molds left, and I started making kits. And they have really done well. So some kits are molds, some are transfers, some are with paint. They are doing so well. That looks like maybe the direction I'm going for right now. And another reason I probably don't sleep well is when I do wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, okay, what kind of kit can I put together for next month or right now or whatever? I'm a kind of a right now kind of person. But matter of fact, after our podcast today, I have a meeting with a couple of my affiliates that have ideas for kits. So I think that's where we're going, because it's working. And then if that stops working, I know I'll find something else.
Exactly. I love your enthusiasm and positive attitude. Tell us how you keep that up. So is there anything you do specifically for energy for your business?
Melanie, I think the secret for all of us is you just have to love what you're doing. My husband asks me all the time, when are you going to retire? Because I work more now than I ever have, because I'm working out of my home. But it's all researching products, putting together all this stuff. And yes, I've had to hire help. Jane Belante Art. Oh my gosh, she was definitely a godsend as well, literally. A kit I just came out with, almost sold out of, it's a pretty big kit. And that, anyway, so I think that's a large part of it. You don't have to, I have a lot of faith in God, being a single mom all those years. I'm not religious, but I have big faith. And I think whatever a person, if they can just talk or pray to whoever their higher being is, because some people want to say the universe, that's what keeps me positive. I always know God has my back. Yeah, I have a great husband. He'll never let me fall, ever. But and I love everyone I'm working with. I have got the greatest, and I'm telling you, the crafting community, believe me, I love my furniture painters, but there's something about the crafting community, Melanie, that rally behind you. It's not a big competition. And I love that. I think that's what is so easy, why it's so easy to keep positive.
Yes, yes, yes. I love all of that. What are you the most proud of, Josi?
I am honestly, the most proud of inspiring others, especially we've got 3 daughters. 2 of them are mine, and I love it when I hear them say, "Mom, you're my inspiration." And then I've got a granddaughter who just turned 14, and my great granddaughter's 3. I love it when now Ariel's 3, she doesn't know what but even the 14-year-olds will say, "Nana, I just love you and I love what you do," and I can inspire her. Honestly, that's what I'm the most proud of. I love that I built this company, but I want to be there. I want to be present for all my followers, all my customers.
You do an amazing job.
Thank you.
What advice would you give yourself back when you first endeavored to grow the brush part of the business?
I think honestly, the hardest I'm not taking this to a negative, okay? Because everything has turned into a positive situation. We were investors with a couple other companies. We invested in their products. That didn't work out. We now know that's just part of it. And my husband and I have discussed that's not where we want to go anymore. But at the time we did. We thought, you know what? Why not put their name on a brush or whatever? And so it didn't work out. If it had worked out, I wouldn't be where I'm at today either. I know I wouldn't be. So that would probably, but again, it's hindsight. If I knew then what was happening now. But other than that, I think we have moved, irregardless of like COVID, the setbacks, whatever. I think we are moving in the right direction. And we never stop. I never stop.
I love that. And so mainly you would maybe just advise yourself to try things, because you don't know until you try. And then if you tried and it doesn't work out, that's okay, because now
Yes.
This is where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. Yes.
And maybe it's even clearer for you
It is.
than before.
Yep.
So whatever made you think that you should try something else, that's not the path that was for you. I love that.
Yes.
So Josi, where can we find you in the online space?
Facebook is my thing. So of course, Paint Pixie Brushes is my Facebook page. I've got a YouTube channel as well, same name, Instagram. And then if anybody wants to buy products, I have a nice website. I think it's pretty easy to navigate, which I built myself. There's another thing. I've stopped hiring people to build. This is my 3rd website I've built. Every time I grow, I've redone it. So I'm really proud of that as well. Thank God for YouTube.
Yes.
I am not techie at all. And that's something my husband wants nothing to do with. And he is techie, but he doesn't know websites. So anyway, yeah, that's where they can find me.
I love that. Google can teach all things.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Google and YouTube.
Yes, Google. Those are the 2. Yes, Google and YouTube. Absolutely.
I love it. Josi, thank you for sharing your intimate journey on this path that you have made for your business with us. And I look forward to seeing about your kits and what's new. And we'll have the links to all of your things in the show notes here for everybody.
Thank you, Melanie. It's been a pleasure.
You're so welcome. All right. Have a great day.
You as well.